Ni hao, namaste. If you feel Chinese is difficult, watch this video. If you feel otherwise, still watch it and let me know if I am missing something. Now, if you Google most difficult languages in the world, Mandarin Chinese will often appear right on top. That sounds scary. But here is one important detail that many of us miss. Mandarin is usually ranked difficult for English speakers, and that is a very important detail. It means that the difficulty level is being measured from an English speaking learner's point of view. But what about Indian learners? What about children who are already growing in multilingual communities? What about Indian learners who are already used to different writing systems, different sounds and different sentence patterns, different grammar just by existing in a multilingual country? Now let me be very clear, I am not saying that Chinese is super easy. Chinese is different, very different. It has a different writing system, it has different sounds, it has tones. And yes, when we look at Chinese from the outside, it does feel a little intimidating. Today, I want to show you the side of Chinese, the other side that you may not be aware of. Some parts of Chinese are surprisingly simple, especially when we compare it with Indo-European languages. And once you see these simple parts, Chinese may start feeling a little bit easier. So today let's look at the easier side of Chinese, the side which anybody hardly tells the beginners about. Any and every language has grammar, so does Chinese. But when we hear the word grammar, we usually imagine a whole syllabus and a separate book. Genders, tenses combinations, case tables, plurals rules, conjugations, articles like a and the, and then exceptions on top of exceptions. Some languages have 2 genders, some have 3, some have even more. Some languages have long case tables to just explain the role of a word in a sentence. Some languages have so many verb forms that just learning the verb becomes a separate project. So grammar can feel very vast, but Chinese grammar is totally beginner friendly. In Mandarin Chinese, many of the complications simply don't exist the same way. For example, I go, 我去, 我去. To say I went, you don't change the verb. The verb does not become something else. It does not become went. You can very conveniently and efficiently add a time word. So if you want to say I went yesterday, Chinese sentence is going to be 我昨天去, which is essentially I yesterday go. And think of the number of verbs that you no longer have to change. So no go, goes, went, gone, no changing the verbs according to gender, not according to multiplicity, not according to if the person is younger or older than you. The verbs simply do not change. They are not conjugated. Like Indian languages, Chinese also does not have articles a and the, which is super annoying if you are learning a European language. There are no complicated plural forms in Chinese. In English, simplest plural forms also come with rules and exception. So one man, many men, one book, many books, one child, many children, one mouse, many mice, one fish, many fish, and so on. But in Chinese, plurals do not change like this. So this is how you write book or books. Shu is the word for both, book or books. Now if you want to talk about many books, then you add non-definite words like many, a few, or some books. If you want to talk about specific number of books, then you add that. You say 三本书, which means 3 books. So in Chinese, verbs stay the same and nouns usually stay the same, and that is such a big relief for beginners. The second reason is that beginner level HSK is quite manageable, at least at the starting levels. HSK stands for Hanyu Shuiping Kaoshi, which is the Chinese proficiency test, and it is an official international exam for Chinese learners. Now I am essentially comparing HSK with international exams of other languages like Japanese, German and French, etc. And also, I am not saying that HSKs are easy. The HSK pattern has changed recently and higher levels are definitely serious. The new HSK is moving from older 6-level system to a broader 3-stage 9-level framework. But for HSK 1 and 2, nobody is asking you to read long paragraphs in Chinese script, write essays in Chinese, or fully understand fast-paced Chinese conversations. The first 2 levels mainly focus on listening and reading. There is no separate writing section in HSK 1 and 2. Writing comes in later, that is from HSK 3 onward. Even that is quite manageable. And the speaking exam is not mixed into regular HSKK in the same paper. It is usually tested separately through HSKK, which is the speaking test. It stands for 汉语水平口语考试. In some cases, HSKK may be taken along with HSK 3, not compulsory at HSK 1 and 2, but it is still a separate speaking test. Even the speaking test, HSKK, is not like a live interview where you are sitting in front of a Chinese native person and they are having a full conversation with you and suddenly asking you questions. Usually, you go to the exam center, then you go to the exam room, HSKK exam room, you sit in front of a computer and you read the prompts where you see the questions. You also get a question paper, you record your answers, and that is it. That is how you take your HSKK. So for many beginners, that is also very less intimidating than sitting in a proper oral face-to-face examination. So this gradual increase in level is good. The third reason beginner Chinese is easier than people imagine is that we don't start by throwing Chinese characters at learners immediately. First, we start with Pinyin. Pinyin is the Roman letter system used to write Chinese pronunciations. Instead of learning from characters, we insert a system which we are familiar with, and this is an official system recognized internationally. So this can be written as Ni Hao, this is Xie Xie, and this can be written as Wo Qu. So in the beginning, learners can focus on pronunciations, listening, speaking, having conversations rather than being scared of Chinese characters. So if you are a parent thinking Chinese for children, isn't it too hard? I hope this video finds you and gives you a slightly different perspective. So now I want to hear from you. Did any of these points surprise you, or do you still think Chinese is one of the most difficult languages to learn? Write your answers in comments. I would genuinely love to know. Happy learning! 再见!